I'm Gary, and this is Coasting with Culture, which is all about combining theme park visits and riding roller coasters with various cultural experiences around the world. Continuing the return of coaster season in the Pacific Northwest, after checking out the Washington State Spring Fair and Oaks Amusement Park, the next park opening for the 2021 season is Silverwood Theme Park. We'll check out some of the park changes and work done on their coasters, including the progress on their newest Scream Machine due to open later the month. Once I got out of work the night before, I began the drive east from western Washington, stopping for the night in the town of Ellensburg, and waking up to an excellent view of the Cascade Mountains. From there, the drive continued on through the plains and valleys of central and eastern Washington before crossing into Idaho and continuing north to Athol to arrive to the day's destination, Silverwood Theme Park. You could tell that folks were ready to go for opening day from the lineup of cars upon arrival, a good 30 minutes ahead of the park opening.
It is a beautiful, although a bit breezy of a day here at Silverwood in Idaho. Aftershock may not open today because of that breeze, but we'll still get a chance to enjoy some great coasters here, especially wanting to check out Tremors because of all the work that they did with RMC for the new topper track, and also get a chance to see the progress on Stunt Pilot, which opens later in this month. There's a lot of people here to check out the park on opening weekend. They're doing a special 1988 price in honor of the year 1988 when the park opened up. But with that in mind, I think it's time to go ahead inside and see what's going on at Silverwood.
While last year began with heading right to the coasters, I thought it'd be fun to kick off 2021 at Silverwood with a ride on the Silverwood Central Railroad, one of the park's original attractions from that 1988 season, when they acquired this old locomotive from a silver mine operation in Nevada. It's nice to get to enjoy that leisurely ride around the park property, seeing the slides of Boulder Beach, which opens closer to Memorial Day, and the natural landscape of the area as well. It seems that because of the pandemic, they aren't currently holding the staged train robberies and stunt show that's normally part of the experience. But they are having fun with local Northwest folklore by having passengers help in the search for Bigfoot. Plus, you still get to enjoy the look at the park's awesome coaster skyline. As the morning continued, it became obvious that the park's 1988 promotion was a huge draw, and from what I could tell, they were back to normal capacity after operating with a reduced capacity last season, making for some pretty long lines throughout the day. But there was still a lot of excitement around the park for its opening, and a lot of anticipation for its newest thrill ride scheduled to open on the 29th, the RMC Raptor Track coaster, Stunt Pilot. The coaster looks great in its location and is very close to completion. The only track not yet installed is the first drop, and there's still work to be done for the likes of the gift shop and landscaping around the coaster, but it looks to be right on track for its May 29th debut.
You know, what's funny about this is the third different RMC Raptor that I've seen while it's under construction and not yet ready to open. A few years ago, went to Six Flags Fiesta Texas while they were working on Wonder Woman. Happened to get to California's Great America right before the Railblazer opened, and now I'm just a few weeks early for Stunt Pilot. I don't know what it is about me going to parks that are working on building RMC Raptors, but somehow I always seem to get there a little too early. However, I think this one will finally be the one that I get a chance to ride. I can't wait to get on this thing because it looks like it's going to be awesome.
Stunt Pilot wasn't the only project in the park for RMC, as they had been doing some work on its neighbor, Tremors. The company had previously placed topper track on this ride, and this time they did work on the helix after the first two tunnels, replacing the original track with their Iron Horse track that you normally see on their hybrid coaster rebuilds. There would be a decent wait to get a chance to find out how these changes affected the ride. which is common for busy days here at Silverwood because of only having one train for each of the wooden coasters. But I was curious to see how it rode after the modifications. The final verdict?
So if you want to talk about a ride that has multiple personalities, Tremors has become such a ride. This bowl right behind me here, the helix after the double tunnel at the beginning of the ride, is incredibly smooth. It's bizarre how different the ride experience is now, although they are using the Iron Horse style track like you would see on some of the larger RMC hybrids, and so it gives that incredibly smooth ride even with the PTC trains. And then you continue on into the straightaway with the triple hill, and it gets a bit rougher there like it was in the past. After that you get into the downward helix that occurs over by Stunt Pilot, where it smooths out again because it's the topper style track as opposed to the original track. And then from there it goes into the last stretch to the other two tunnels where it's back to the original style track. So really interesting to see how this ride has multiple personalities, but still a ton of fun and a personal favorite of mine here at the park.
Because it seemed that longer lines would be a thing for the duration of the day, I didn't ride as much as I would have liked, but it was a chance to get some filming in and to see what other improvements had been made to the park, including one that began the previous season. Last year on opening day, there was a clearing alongside Corkscrew for something to be built. What was ultimately built here was a new food option, Caselli's Pizzeria. The line for many eateries today would be long like the rides, but at least here, you can enjoy watching its historic neighboring coaster as it thrilled riders while waiting. I like that they offered a few craft beer options, such as the excellent Manny's Pale Ale from my home in the Seattle area. This seemed like a perfect time for a lunch break and to try out the new offering. The pizza itself wasn't to the level of a great local pizzeria or an excellent theme park pizza place like Disney World's Via Napoli, but it was better than some of the options you would find at many other parks around the country. And I also got a kick out of their boxes having various fun facts about the park rather than just being a more generic pizza box. Aftershock did indeed stay closed for the day, but I overheard an exchange between a guest and a maintenance staff member that the ride wasn't yet ready for the season. So that was the reason for its closure, as opposed to the wind as I had originally thought. But there was another coaster that was ready for the season, the park's original wood coaster, Timber Terror. Like Tremors, Timber Terror had some off-season track work done in the turns, as you could see some new wood in those areas. The line didn't take quite as long as Tremors did, so I was able to give it a spin to see how it rode differently from the year before.
So I gotta be really honest with you, the second helix on this thing, it rode a lot better than it would in the past. The turnaround at the far end wasn't a whole lot different from what I can remember, but to be honest, Timber Terror was always kind of the forgotten coaster for me at this park, only because of the fact that I always thought of Tremors as being a better ride, as opposed to some others who might think that this one is a superior ride. But it's a good ride nonetheless. And I'll tell you, the back row on this thing had some pretty good airtime today, so I'm not going to complain.
After that ride and some more filming, I'd call it a day for this season opening visit. I enjoyed getting a chance to take a spin on a few favorite attractions, especially to see how they've changed over this off-season. At this point, I'm still waiting to find out if it's possible to get time off from work for Stunt Pilot's opening day, but there will definitely be another visit at some point this season to try out this great-looking ride. Thanks for checking out this look at the season opener for Silverwood Theme Park. I hope you'll come back soon for more Coasting with Culture. Thank you for watching this Coasting with Culture video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below to see future videos here on YouTube like these ones, which you may enjoy as well. Additional content can be found at coastingwithculture.com, and you can also follow Coasting with Culture on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for announcements, previews, and updates. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care and safe travels.